What is mediation? Out here, just want to share a quick knowledge about mediation. Mediation is a conflict resolution process in which a neutral third party called the mediator help disputing parties to communicate. He or she, as a mediator, help to facilitate communication between the both parties who are in conflict, to have a resolution or to speak to each other, to accept to negotiate and mutually have an acceptable agreement. So it's a process whereby someone like me, I come in between two people who are in dispute or communities, and I help them to facilitate communication, because they can ordinarily, when two people are fighting, they can resolve without the help of a third party. Mediation, unlike a judge or arbitrator, the mediator doesn't impose a decision, but help to facilitate constructive dialogue to find a common ground. The litigation, which is the court system, the judge, the magistrate presides over the matter, makes judgment according to the evidence being established in the court. But in mediation, it's not like that. It's a conflict resolution process. Here, the mediator, which is a third party, doesn't side anyone in the matter. It's just there to communicate, facilitate communication. One of the key features of mediation is voluntary. The parties participate willingly. They sign what they call agreement to mediate, to come into mediation and say, this is the dispute system we want to use, dispute conflict resolution system we want to use to resolve our dispute. They can withdraw at any time and say, I don't want to use again, because it's voluntary. They decided to use mediation. Nobody imposes it on them. So they can participate and they can also withdraw at any time, because it's their willingness to use the mediation process. In mediation, you have confidentiality. Discussions are private and usually not admissible in the court. It's not like in court, you can walk into the courtroom and you hear matters. But in mediation, is whatever that is being discussed, whatever is happening there, is only the mediator and the party that know what has just happened in mediation. There is neutral and there is impartiality. The mediator doesn't take siding or make judgment or prefer solution. He or she is there to guide the mediation process, to guide parties, to speak to each other, facilitate communication. If the matter belongs to the party, the resolution belongs to them, why the mediation process belongs to the mediator. He or she coordinates the process, but resolution belongs to the party. If they agree, you make agreement. If they don't agree, because mediation is not about settlement, it's not about having an agreement, it's not about resolution either also, but the fact that you've guided the party, you facilitate communication between them, and they reach an agreement. You write an agreement, and the agreement have to be read before the parties, and they agree, they sign. And mediation is a collaborative system. It focuses on cooperation rather than competition. Flexible, and it's very flexible, unlike litigation, which is very rigid with a lot of technical jargons and protocols or interpretation. But mediation is very flexible. After the opening speech, the mediator talks about his role or her role and the parties' roles, talk about what mediation is all about, educate parties, and guide the process. Mediation is more of interest-based because priorities are set on needs and interests rather than legal positions. In a mediation, you can have workplace mediation to resolve workplace disputes, conflict, business, commercial mediations for business owners, because it's faster and it's quicker. You have family mediation, different kind of disputes, civil disputes. A lot of them can use mediation to resolve them. So there are different type of mediation. A different type of mediation. So the most important knowledge I want to share is what it's all about. It's a conflict resolution process. I know a lot of people, Frank Sander, who delivered a paper called Varieties of Disputes. He was a lawyer though. When he talked about alternative dispute resolution, we can settle out of the court. And he was one that popularized ADR, alternative dispute resolution. But for me, I see mediation as more than alternative. It's a dispute resolution mechanism, a method you can use to resolve dispute. And for the fact that it's a neutral third party, which is called the mediator, helps in resolving disputes, helps in facilitating communication. It's something to give a try. He or she is not there to decide your matter or give judgment, but the resolution belongs to you and the party that is in dispute. So it's a wonderful process. It's been a long time because even before the court system came to Nigeria, there were systems where the village held the community chiefs to resolve disputes. So for we to neglect where we come from and instead going other ways, we can also give it a try because it's becoming the real trend in dispute resolution. Because definitely we are humans, we interact. Definitely dispute is inevitable in all aspects of life, a relationship, personal, interpersonal. Dispute occurs because of human interaction. And for the fact that there is also conflict prevention, when a dispute arises, what happens? It has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with, so we can be able to use mediation to resolve them. Invited parties as the mediator to preside over them and facilitate the process. So it's a dispute resolution that need to be given a try. You can check it out. Use the process because it's becoming more popular. A lot of pending cases in court, a lot of adjournment in court. The court is overwhelmed with matters, so we give all that dispute resolution process a chance, which is the mediation. There are other types. We have negotiations, we have arbitration, we have conciliation. But I'm more of mediation. I'm more of mediation enthusiast because it's one of my passion. People come together and speak to each other as a mediator. You don't side them. You coordinate the process, and the resolution belongs to parties. So it's a dispute resolution that need to be given a try. It's faster, it's flexible. It decongests the court, the litigation system.